What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So this isn't a channel that I talk about this stuff a lot, but this is something that I really went through in my life for a long period of time, about 4 years, probably. Or no, probably about 3 years. It really got out of hand during quarantine. I had a lot of fun just drinking all the time. I got kind of laid off in a way by my job, so I really had nothing to do. I couldn't see anybody, and essentially I was just drinking myself to death. So in that, I made a video, and I went through a pretty bad withdrawal last June, and the whole thing's up if you want to watch it. You can just search like alcohol on my channel, it'll come up. But if you like my NoFap videos, this probably isn't for you. This is for all my crippling alcoholics out there, gray liver gang, and we are just going to talk about something very important that everybody needs to know. So, okay. There are two types of alcoholics in the world. One type is the type that eats. That alcoholic, the one who eats, is going to be very successful compared to the one that doesn't. Now, if you're watching this and you're drunk or whatever and you're tripping and you think that, oh, this guy's crazy, I don't need to eat, like I get so much drunker when I'm on an empty stomach, that's how I like to drink. I would never eat. I couldn't eat for at least 3 hours before, or otherwise I'd probably throw up, and I hated that. I hate the feeling of throwing up, right? So I could never deal with that. And I would really like Jack Daniels straight to it. So, and by the way, I was drinking like non-stop. If you're an alcoholic, you know that sometimes you can go on benders. My benders would be, if I'm awake, I'm drinking. That's all there is to it. Like, there is no like layoff, cool down period time, so my withdrawals were so bad. I'm talking like, it was mainly whiskey and Four Locos when I was too poor to afford whiskey. I'm not proud of the Four Loko part, believe me. So, let's get to it. Here are 5 things that every alcoholic needs to know. You need to know these, man, because you are at a high risk of getting smooth brain, and that is not good. So smooth brain is when your body, when essentially you don't get any of the vitamins that you need and that your body has, and it can destroy your brain. It can make your vision blurry forever. It's like Wolfen syndrome, something like that, which is a lack of thiamine in your body. And you can also have problems remembering, and there's also problems with speech. These are real things that can be caused by rampant alcoholism, but I'm going to tell you, my drinkers out there, if you're going to keep drinking, bro, this is how you have to do it. This is the better way to do it. When I didn't do this, I was at my worst. Now, if I go on benders, which I'm not going to lie, I do sometimes, I play it safe. I'm still trying to figure out how to deal with this. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, you know what? I'll be honest. I'm probably going to go on a bender right now. I try to stick to White Claws now. It's just a fact of life that's going to happen to me until I can actually permanently fix this. Okay, first one. Get yourself a quality multivitamin. And when I mean a quality multivitamin, you're going to need a couple things. So it's good to have A, vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin E, but some of the most important ones, thiamine. Thiamin. That presents the Wolfen syndrome. That's not the word, but it's like Wolfenheim syndrome, which is basically you're dizzy and your vision's going to be blurry forever, for the rest of your life. There's no way to reverse it, so that's pretty bad news. Okay, magnesium. It's going to need to have magnesium. When I withdraw really bad, I start doing this. I start twitching, and I'll be like, I'll get like this, and I could be at work, and I'll get really dizzy, and I'll have to, like, when I stand, I will have to, like, hold on to stuff like this, and because I won't be able to stand. I'll just be so dizzy that there's nothing I can do. I can't get off the floor. I also get really bad vertigo. So when I was at a hotel one time and I started withdrawing heavy, it was hard for me to leave because I had no alcohol and I was on like the 5th story and I was freaking out. So magnesium helps with twitches and things like that. Okay, it also should have a bunch of electrolytes. You have zinc, you have copper, you have folate, and this is the best multivitamin that I could find. I'm not sponsored. This Muscle Tech multivitamin, this is probably the best one that you can buy. Now, also, Super B complex. This is very important too. These are all very cheap. You can find these at Walmart, anywhere to go. But it's very important you don't take these two at the same time, because if you do, you'll just end up pissing out all the excess B vitamins. So this one is also good because it does have vitamin C, and you need vitamin B12, your thiamine, and your vitamin B, because your B vitamins are going to be completely depleted if you don't eat. Okay, vitamins are great, but food is better. It's a common fact that vitamins do help, but eating food is a lot better for you. So here we go. Smoothies. Smoothies are easy to get down, and they're cheap as anything. Make sure it has blueberries, make sure it has bananas. You're going to need a lot of electrolytes. If you're not a smoothie guy, pistachios. Pistachios are an alcoholic's best friend. Just do me a favor and look at that list of all the vitamins. And they're easy to get down, they're not heavy, so if you want you can keep drinking. I'm not here to tell anybody what to do. I'm just here trying to tell you guys some steps to make it a bit easier. Okay, so this has a bunch of vitamins, really easy. This is about a quarter cup and you get all of that. Great thing to have. Okay, here's the deal. Melatonin. This is going to be a little bit tricky. So, melatonin has a few side effects. A lot of people get crazy nightmares. They start flipping out a lot. The nightmares are really bad. It doesn't work for everybody, but for me, when I withdraw, I struggle to sleep. Like I'm saying, like I could be up for like 2 to 3 days at a time because I just can't sleep. I'll lay down and I'll just start twitching and I'll be restless and I feel like my heart's gonna pop out of my chest and it's super bad, right? Melatonin, it's a natural thing. It's not like NyQuil or something because as alcoholics, we do not want to take NyQuil or things like this. You don't want to take things like this. This is going to destroy your liver. You cannot take these with alcohol. You cannot take acetaminophen. I'm sorry, I don't know about the complete pronunciations, but you can't take these. These things, anything with this in it, with this ingredient right here, if you're an alcoholic, stay away from. Because this, your liver's already shot with alcoholic drinks. They say you shouldn't have more than 2 with this. We're talking about we're having 30 a day. So stay away from that and stick with this. It's something that's good for you and good for your liver. Well, not good for your liver, but you know, it won't harm it like that will. And so those are some of the tips that I picked up along the way. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. If you're an alcoholic, you're going to drink no matter what. It doesn't matter what I say. You don't know me. You don't care what I say. All I'm saying is don't make the mistake of not eating food. Be an alcoholic who's productive and eat food and don't get smooth brain. Don't get that Wolfenheim syndrome. Don't get any of that because you know what, man? That's really bad at the end of the day. And you don't, and if you're an alcoholic, I hate to say it. Like I said, I'm not here to convince anybody. But if you want to keep up that wild ride of alcoholism, I got tired. I got burnt out. I really missed being sober. I can't wait until I can kick this. I'm kind of tapering down right now because if I don't taper down, I'll have to check into a hospital at the end of the day, probably. And I don't want to do that. I lose my job, things like that. So I'm just trying to self-taper. So these are all things that I'm trying to do. And maybe if you're watching this, man, my last video got a good amount of views, so maybe you guys can get something out of this. Sorry, guys. This isn't edited very well, but this is just for anybody who needs it. And yeah, so multivitamin, melatonin, B complex, things you need, big time.